In this week's episode, we'll look at using hard light for portrait photography.
Adorama TV presents Exploring Photography with Mark Wallace, where you will learn innovative techniques on shooting a wide range of photography. Here's your host.
Hi everybody, welcome to Adorama TV. I'm Mark Wallace. Well, this week we have a question from Seth in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And Seth wrote in and asked, hey, I don't have any softboxes or umbrellas. Can you give me some tips for shooting portraits with just hard light? Well, Seth, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that most people do when they get a studio strobe is they take this reflector off, or they add a softbox or an umbrella right off the bat. And a lot of people don't even shoot with these guys, and they're missing out on a lot of great opportunities. So what I want to do today is show you some setups using just hard light. And I'll use a standard reflector like this one because that's what comes with most studio strobes. But I'm going to be using actually a Profoto D1, a couple of these. And what these come with are just a normal front without any kind of modifier at all. And the nice thing about this is this diffusion panel allows light to come out, and it's just really hard light. And I will show you that you can shoot with something just like this, and you'll get some great results. And then we'll add a little reflector on that and show you what maybe a different light would look like. So it's, if you don't have a D1, you can explore this on your own. And I'll show you how you can get some great looking portraits. And I'll also show you how you can set up some lighting setups like we did in Digital Photography One-on-One episode 67, which was all about lighting for black and white photography. And just a refresher, when you're lighting for black and white photography, it's great to have hard light that is from a small light source just like this one. Now to help me out, we have LaSheln here today, and LaSheln is going to be our model. And what we've done here is we have a couple of lights that I've already set up. And so LaSheln, if you can have your spot right over here. So LaSheln's going to stand there. My key light is right over here. This is just a Profoto D1 Air, 1000 watt seconds. And it's coming right over here, and it's going to be hitting LaSheln straight on. And then I have, way up here high, I have another light, and that's my kicker light, and that is going to illuminate the back of LaSheln. Now, I've sort of moved these a little bit very intentionally, because right over here on this wall, you can see that we have this very large shadow. And when I'm shooting, I'll be shooting from over in this direction, and I don't want that shadow to show up in my image. And so what I can do is I can move the placement of my camera or LaSheln to get rid of that so it doesn't actually show up in the photo itself. So let me take a few shots using this very simple lighting setup and show you the results. One of the things that's very important when you're shooting with hard light is paying close attention to the shadows. And so what I've done here is I'm looking right here at LaSheln, her shadow underneath her chin, but most importantly right now I'm paying attention to this shadow on the wall because I don't want that sort of film noir look. I don't want that shadow to show up. And so the thing that I can do is move my key light. Now a lot of times what photographers will do is they'll move the light this way and try to block that shadow and just place it right behind the person. Now, I don't like to do that. I like to move my light the opposite way, and so that shadow starts to travel off the background. And when you do that, what happens is you start to get more shadows. So LaSheln, look at this way a little bit, and you can see that this shadow grows, and if you move your face this way just a little bit, you can see this nose shadow changes from long to short based on where her head is. So one of the things that you can do with this setup is to move your key light off to camera right or camera left so that the shadow on the background falls out of frame, and then to fix these shadows on your model's face, have the model look toward the key light, and that eliminates those shadows, and so we have a shadowless face. Now we are going to get shadows underneath the chin and on the neck and all those things, but shadows aren't something that you have to avoid altogether. Shadows can be pretty awesome, and so that's what we have right here. And so what I'll do is I'm going to take a few shots and show you what the light looks like with the light close to the camera, a little bit of ways, and way far away, and we can see the differences on LaSheln's face as well. So let me shoot that series of photos and then show you what each of these lights look like. Let me show you one other setup, and what I've done here is I've actually added this normal reflector here. What that's going to do is restrict the light just a little bit. So back here on this background, we're not going to have light that's just falling everywhere. We're going to get sort of a vignette on this background, and that's going to look pretty awesome. So we have LaShawn here. She's facing the light, and I'll be shooting more from this direction back here, so the camera will be in this direction. And what we'll get is I can get a nice horizontal shot here, and all this back here that I don't want in the shot, well, because this is harder light, it's just going to fall into darkness. And so that's one of the benefits of using hard light. You can use these shadows to eliminate things you don't want in the photo. So let me take a couple of photos and show you how I can get something that's a very nice close headshot, something that's a little bit more of a wide shot, and then a full body shot as well, all using just one light with a standard reflector. Now don't forget, you can add modifiers when you're using just a standard reflector to help to fill in light. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to use a silver panel here, because what I need is I need to add a little bit of kick to LaShawn's hair. It's just falling into shadow too much. I want some sheen on that. So I'm adding this reflector. Let me show you what this looks like with and without the reflector. So I'll take a shot here. This is with the reflector. Beautiful. And you can see that her hair has some highlights there. I'll take this reflector away, and then we'll get one more shot. Same kind of thing now with no reflector, and you can see that the hair is totally falling into black, which we don't want. So using a small 5-in-1 reflector or a silver panel like this, anything to bounce light will really help out your photos. Well, let's take a look at one more setup. This time, we want to shoot some really dramatic lighting and convert our image to black and white. Well, for our last lighting setup, remember, we're shooting for black and white. And so what I've done is I've used this standard reflector. I have my light pretty darn close to LaShawn, and I have it to the side. I want lots of shadows because that's going to give this some depth. And because it's black and white, we want all that contrast. And so what I've added is behind LaShawn back here, I actually have a black foam core panel, and that's just going to give us a nice dark background. It is a little bit reflective, so it won't be absolutely black, but it'll be really, really dark. And then because this is coming from the side, what I can do is I can change my angle when I'm shooting. I can shoot over here or shoot over here. The more opposite the light I am, the more shadow I'll get, and the closer I am to the light, the less shadows I get. So I have a lot of options there. So I'm going to shoot a few of these things, and I'm shooting everything vertically intentionally because of the way we have this background set up. And so we'll show you these vertical shots and show you how wonderful they look in black and white. Well, thanks, LaShawn. That was a lot of fun. Seth, remember, if you want more information specifically about lighting for black and white photography, make sure you check out Digital Photography One-on-One, episode 67 at Adorama TV. And if you're new to Adorama TV, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. We have tons of content providers with tons of information. You don't want to miss it. If you have missed it, you can always go to the Adorama Learning Center to look up articles all about lighting and exposure and metering and all kinds of things. And so make sure you check it out. Well, thanks for joining me. I'll see you again next week right here on Adorama TV.
Adorama TV is brought to you by Adorama, your best source for the equipment and knowledge you need. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. Place your order by 7 p.m. and it ships the same day. Plus, the next time you're in New York City, be sure to visit our store located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. Check out the Adorama Rental Company for professional cameras, lighting, computers, and more. We'll help you make the best selection to match your needs while giving you the knowledge to achieve the best outcome from your rental. Adorama is your complete solution for equipment, printing, training, and more. Adorama, more than a camera store.
For now, we're just going to use a head like this without a reflector, and in fact, I've got a couple of those set up. Sorry. Let's try again.